How you guys doing? Back at it again?
What's going on today?
How many homeless people you guys kick out today? Gonna set a record? You see your video on social media? Awesome.
I really appreciate that. You did a great job.
Still haven't spoken to your bosses yet. I left a message for them. The complaint is in progress.
That's perfect. I hope it goes well for you.
How come you guys didn't get on that bus?
We did.
Cool.
We don't get on every bus. You know what we do? We check in with the operator. We ask him how things are going.
No, you guys kick out homeless people, harass people. That's pretty much the entirety of your job, it seems like.
You should come and work for us. You seem to know a lot about transit.
I could do better than transit security. I think most people can do better, no offense.
Do you have a job?
Huh?
What do you do for a living?
Why should I tell you? My personal information is none of your business.
Anything, man. I just thought you'd be a nice guy and tell me what you do for a living.
It's none of your business.
So I could tell you how to do your job.
I don't know. I wouldn't harass people. I don't. Even if I were to become security or whatever, I wouldn't harass people, especially vulnerable people.
We don't harass anybody, man.
Yes, you do. I mean, it's online. The evidence is online.
You come for a ride along with us all day long and do a shift with us. Film it.
That actually would be interesting.
Because you know what? I think you change your opinion.
I actually want to do that with the cops as well. I record arrests sometimes too.
I think you would change your opinion of us. Because the funny thing is, you don't know me and I don't know you. And that first time I met you, you saw us do something which you thought, in your opinion, was wrong. The amount of free rides that I hand out every day to people and how we help people out, it would blow your mind away. But you don't.
Why not that guy then? Why didn't you give him a free ride then?
First of all, I'll tell you the whole story. That guy was coughing on the bus with no mask on. That when you came up and filmed that day, he was coughing.
What does that matter? He was coughing? He had a mask on. It's on the video.
He was coughing
he had
and going, I have COVID. So my partner went on the bus and said, yeah, he did.
That's a lie. You're just making that up.
Were you on the bus? Then you don't tell me it's a lie. You don't know.
Don't make up stories. Like, there's no evidence for that.
You know what, Mr. Dutt, I don't have to tell you anything. But I'm a nice guy, and I think it's kind of comical that you want to film us. So I like having a chat with you. I have no problem.
You guys are afraid of being recorded.
You don't intimidate me at all, man.
You don't intimidate me either.
Because that's why we're having a chat.
I know. Are you ready to show your number now? Last time you wouldn't show your identification number. That's part of the complaint that I filed against you.
Yep.
And I asked, it's policy. You're supposed to. That's why.
If you're involved in the situation.
No, anytime. If it's requested.
No.
I was involved. I became involved in that situation. I was recording.
No, you weren't, man.
I was.
You walked up here with your mom. You had your mom stand in the cold weather.
Oh,
that seems to be your shtick.
She supported that whole thing.
No, she didn't.
Yeah,
I heard her talking in Hindi, man. She does not support it.
Do you speak Hindi?
No, my buddy doesn't watch the video. He was laughing at you. He was like that poor mom.
Yeah, right.
She was telling you to leave it alone and go home, and you know it, Mr. Dutt. So whatever. You know what?
Dude,
if you'd walk around.
But she supports this whole thing.
No, she doesn't, man.
I told her to go inside the mall.
But
anyways,
she doesn't.
Yeah, of course she supports this. She doesn't like seeing homeless people get harassed.
Told you to go
but you guys, people abusing their position.
How do you
like, how would you like it if one of your family members got down on their luck and they tried to get a free ride on the bus and some security just tossed him out in the cold, rainy night?
You know what, Mr. Dutt? That guy wasn't looking for a free ride.
He was.
He was coughing.
I talked to him later on. It's on video. It's on video.
You walked up here and saw the guy come off in the wheelchair.
That's your story, though. You're claiming that.
I'll tell you what the story is, because I've seen the story.
But I don't believe you. People are gonna
My partner walked on and said, "Sir, you have a mask?" And he goes, "Yeah, I got my mask." And he's like, and he goes,
he was wearing a mask.
Because he was coughing it, and he says, "I got."
Is coughing illegal now?
He said he was coughing out loud and saying, "I have COVID." So we said, "Fine, put your mask on." So he did, and then we said, "Do you have a fare?" And he goes, "Yeah, I do." It was expired. It was long gone.
Why not just give him a free ticket like you did later on?
So then my partner said, "You know what? You're gonna have to get off." So he did. That's what you were filming. So
your partner's the bad guy then?
No, he's not the bad guy. My partner made a decision, I backed him up. So you came up, filmed it, and then because that guy turned around in front of you and said, "Leave them alone, they're doing their job," which is what we're doing, my job.
Harassing people.
Yeah. You know what? I've had enough talking. You obviously don't see the big picture. I don't know what you do for a living.
Of course you're going to try and justify your action.
I would not show up at your job and tell you
You're always going to try and
It's funny how if I worked at Starbucks...
I wouldn't even mind. Would
you come in here and tell me how to do my job in here?
I trust those employees. Would you come in here? It's people with the so-called authority that are the ones that abuse their authority. Starbucks employees, they don't...
As you told me a month ago or whatever it was,
they don't
you just told me now, I don't have any authority apparently.
Yeah, exactly.
How am I flexing
so-called perceived authority.
How am I flexing on people with my authority.
Flexing
If I-
that?
How am I flexing?
You're hip, right? That's a good
Tell
word.
me, how am I flexing
Uh,
on people with my authority?
Your perceived authority.
No.
I don't think you have
I do
authority.
have authority.
Like, I wouldn't listen
when
to
it
you.
Comes, when
Tell
it
me-
comes onto the bus,
But some
like,
people
I know,
actually
put
do.
This way, here's my authority.
You guys have that flashy
I can
uniform.
ask you for ID. You can say I don't have it. But if you show me your red and white pass, which I know you have,
Yeah, exactly.
I can say I need secondary ID to prove that that's you. And
You need justification. No, you need justification.
Have to show
You need
me-
justification.
No, you have to show me that's
no way.
yours. Because you could have stolen
Okay,
that
I'm gonna-
pass. You could have found
But you
that.
need proof that I've stolen.
No.
You need some kind
So,
of
yeah,
reasonable,
so guess what?
articulable
You
suspicion
bring
that
out
I've
your
stolen
BC
that.
ID and you show me that that's you.
No. Okay,
You
I'm
have the
gonna.
authority.
Okay, I'll talk to TransLink about that.
TransLink's
I'll
gonna
ask
tell you
about
the
that.
same thing, man.
Yeah, no.
TransLink's
You
gonna
need
tell you the
even
same thing.
the cops. You guys, like a lot of security, think they're cops, but cops can't even ask you for ID
Yes,
without
they can.
reasonable, articulable
Exactly.
suspicion.
And that's what I
Look
just-
that up. Google that
and
if
I-
you don't know what that means.
I understand how to be a cop, okay? I don't understand how to be a police officer. You have no
Have you
idea
been a
what I
cop?
did before this
Have
job.
you been a cop?
Yeah, you have no idea what I've
Yes.
done. Okay, so don't tell me what I'm doing and doing right or wrong. I don't judge you. I think you're doing a good job, and that's fine. And I don't mind having a chat with you and having a laugh with you. But I've seen a lot
Oh,
of your
see,
videos.
now that
I've
I've
seen a
put-
lot of your videos, and I tell you, you've enraged a lot of people out there.
I don't really care.
I know you don't
like
care,
I said,
but you're filming
I'm standing
people,
up for people.
but
I'm
you're
standing up
filming
for
them,
vulnerable
but the
people.
homeless people that you're filming, hey man, you've been beaten up down on Hastings because they don't want you filming.
Do you know how
There was
many
a-
people have been beaten
there's
up
There's
on-
a guy down here that was telling you not to film. I watched your video for 24 minutes. We had it.
Yeah,
We had,
I'm
remember
glad
you-
you're a fan. You
Yeah,
should
I am
subscribe.
a
Have you
fan.
subscribed?
I want to know who I was dealing with.
Dude, you
Now
got a
I know who
YouTube.
I'm
I'll
dealing
subscribe
with.
to you too.
So it's awesome. So
Exactly.
you know what?
Dude,
You can do what you want.
anytime
to
you start, there's always going to be opposition, right? Even if you try and do the right thing, there's always going to be some opposition.
Yeah,
And like
I
I said, some people, they think you're going to portray them negatively online, right? Some people take videos of like homeless people and they like laugh at him. They put it online and laugh.
And that's-
I'm not
and
about
that's
that.
wrong. I know.
I treat them very respectfully. I present them
but-
very respectfully.
but they
This is
don't-
all about how people
Yeah.
abuse their position
But
with
they
vulnerable
don't
people.
know, some of these people that you're filming don't know that you're helping them, and they get.
Of course,
mad.
I
There
always,
was that
I
one
almost
incident.
always tell them I'm
Fair enough.
I'm doing
There
this
was
for
that one
protection.
incident, right, where the guy was so mad, and
What are
they
you talking
kept
about?
telling you to leave because the guy was going to kick your ass.
Did you see what they were doing to that guy?
They were holding him down from stopping from beating you up.
Oh please!
If they let
that
him
guy
go-
had a mental illness and they
Yeah,
arrested
and
him.
guess what he
They
would've
falsely
done?
told him they were
No.
gonna call an ambulance. Ambulance never came. They shoved him inside a
Fair
paddy
enough.
wagon and took him
Fair
away.
enough.
He was kicking at the door. You could hear that in
I
the video.
heard it, yeah.
Exactly. He had a. This is what's happening. They're arresting people with mental illnesses. They're treating them like criminals, even though they need help.
They do need
and
help.
that's what I'm putting out there.
Are you a specialist when it comes to mental health?
Are you a specialist when it comes to
No,
mental? What
and that's the
authority do you
scary
have?
thing. So I've taken some training because I didn't ask to be. I'm a transit security officer.
I
But
work
guess
with
what?
vulnerable people a
Fair
lot.
enough, and so
Yeah,
do
yeah.
I. I worked in the jails. I worked in corrections. I've worked
Aren't
with
any buses
vulnerable
coming
people.
along?
I don't know. It's Sunday, man. That's why. It's a Monday.
It's not
Sunday.
Sunday.
It's Sunday service, but it's Monday, right? It's a holiday.
Yeah.
So there you go. So honestly, my man,
Anyway.
I'm actually a nice guy, and we are nice guys. You may think that we are out here busting everyone's ass. Man, it's the furthest thing from the truth. Honestly,
Nah,
maybe one day
I'm gonna let
you
you
will
finish.
figure
Can
that
I?
out.
Okay, okay, I'll let you. Okay, now, if you've seen, go back on my YouTube if you want, scroll through it. You guys aren't the first transit security
Oh, I
that I've
know.
recorded
I
harassing
know.
people. I have at least like 4 videos.
Okay,
So
yeah.
I myself was harassed by transit security. I have a face mask exemption, right?
Yeah.
Right now I'm just wearing this because I've got like the sniffles right now, right? So
Yeah.
that's why I'm wearing a face mask. Usually I don't wear a face mask because I've got a legitimate exemption, right? And some transit security, they drag me, they pretty much, they got an undercover cop to pull me physically off the bus because they wanted to see my private medical information. This guy didn't even know what
Why
he was
wouldn't
doing.
why would they ask a plainclothes police officer? to
He
pull you
was,
off
they
the
were
bus?
making an arrest, like right by that bus stop. They were making an arrest, and they got that officer to pull me physically because they wanted access to my private medical information. Like you're not, like you guys aren't allowed.
No,
If someone says
like
they
I
have
said,
a face mask
Mr.
exemption,
Judd, I'm not
you're
lying
not
to you,
allowed
but
to.
right now, say you're a passenger on this bus,
Yeah.
and I walked on there to do a check, and you showed me the red and white ministry pass.
I'm gonna find out about
This
that.
is my daughter has special needs. She has the same pass.
Yeah.
My daughter is autistic. So
Oh.
I know how the system works.
Yeah.
So you're on that program too, and I get it, and I support it. But we have every right to say to you while you're sitting on that bus.
I'm gonna find out about that.
You can find TransLink's going to tell you the same thing.
I'm pretty sure you need reasonable articulable suspicion. You can't just falsely accuse me of stealing my
pass. We're not
pass.
accusing you. We're asking for a secondary piece of ID. So I don't know what year you were born. So on your red and white card, right?
Yeah.
On your red and white card.
Uh-huh.
Are you listening to me? Or you just
I'm listening.
On your red and white card, it has your birth year, right?
Yeah.
So if I look at that, and I'm just taking a guess, and it says 67, but I'm like, oh, Mr. Dutt seems a little younger than that. I may say to you, hey, do you have secondary ID to back that up? And you go, yeah, I do, man, and here's my beat. You don't have to hand it to me. You just have to show me.
I would rather just
that
help
and that, and that's all we do, and that's it. So the guys that did that to you on the bus, whatever, a year or two ago, when you said that
was about a face mask exemption. That wasn't about ID. They wanted to see my face mask. They wanted to see my doctor's note for the face. That's medical. That's personal information.
Mr. Dutt, the face mask exemption it's a joke. I don't like wearing it either. I don't like wearing it. But if I was on that bus, I'd probably wear it.
If someone has like asthma or something and it actually causes like hyperventilation or something, then obviously they can wear a face mask. They shouldn't wear a face mask.
But I'll tell you what, Mr. Dutt, we walk onto the bus.
It's going to be gone anyways in like a month.
I hope so. We walk onto the bus right now, and I try to say it's you, right? And I'm like, hey, you got a face mask? And you're like, I got an exemption. And I'm like, oh, you do? And I'm like, that's great. Have a nice day.
Exactly.
That's all we can do.
That's all it should be.
That's all we can do. Why some of our guys
they're not properly trained. They're not properly trained. They don't know what they're doing.
Well, we can suggest you wear it. Look at that. I even carry extra masks here. Look at this.
I think people get fined too over this. They used to anyways. I filed a complaint about
like, say
that
you're
too.
on the bus and I said, hey, I don't know you, but I'd be like, sir, do you have a mask? No. Would you like one?
Yeah.
No, I have an exemption. I'm like, okay, have a nice day. But with the red and white pass, we can ask for secondary ID. You could TransLink's going to tell you the same thing.
Yeah,
we can with the blue compass pass.
Yeah.
I don't care. The blue compass pass, we don't care. If it's a U pass, you know the U pass for universities? If it's a U pass, I can ask you for your student ID, because on the back of that card, it says to use this card, you have to have student ID. So you have to have your UBC, SFU, Kwantlen, etc., etc. So those are the only times we can ask you for your ID when it comes to your pass. So the red and white one and the U pass, right? I can also say you had an orange one for seniors or students.
Yeah.
I can say, come on.
I think they've got the red one too. Like seniors have red. My mom has the red one.
But that's the red and white one is for social assistance and for disabilities, right?
Yeah.
My daughter has the same one. She's autistic, right? So that's why she has that pass. So you have it. Your mom has it.
I think they give it for other reasons too.
No, it's social assistance and it's exactly for whatever reason you have yours for. If you're on disability, that's great. I respect that.
It's for different reasons too.
I don't, and it's not, and that's how we operate, my man. That's it. So, and then say you had no fare, right? And be like, sir, where's your ticket today? I don't have one. So I'd be like, you know what? Can I get some ID? Because now I'm gonna write you.
Exactly, you find them like $173.
Yeah, it's $173. So
even
now
if they're first-time offenders.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie to you, Mr. Dutt. If I said, okay, I gotta write you a ticket. Do you have ID on you? And you're like, no, I don't. I'd be like, okay, well, don't lie to me. I'll do my best. Or you could turn around and say, I have ID and I'm not going to show it to you and walk away. If you walked away, man, you're walking away. That's it.
You guys want to call the cops?
No.
That's it. They probably would. Some would.
It's a bylaw ticket.
Dude, I'm pretty sure some security, the ones that aren't trained properly, they would probably get hands-on with the people like, come back here.
Possibly.
Give me your ID.
Guess what? Because of the rules that are put there, we can't. I'm not if you walk away, I'm not going to grab you. But if you walk away, I can't just grab you. Because guess what?
But some security think they can.
They can, and they're wrong.
I know.
We're not. See, you don't know me. Now you're going to understand how I operate. We do a good job of it.
But see, the thing is, like, I appreciate this discussion. I appreciate you being open about this. And now, you do, like, I still don't really, given the first impression you made, I still don't really trust you. But like the second, like now you do seem like a nice, but the thing is, now that I filed the complaint and after to put the video out there, now you changed their behavior. Why didn't you act like this the first time? If you're truly a nice guy, why wouldn't you like this the first time?
Because I was a nice guy. You don't know me. And
you got hostile, you got in my face.
No, you got in my face. You put the camera in my face. Yeah, you did. You
I didn't put it in your face. I usually keep a safe distance.
I'm not gonna argue with you, my man. So
anyways,
now you've seen us. You know what we're about. I've told you what we can and cannot do. We do have authority. I don't have the authority of a police officer.
But have compassion. Right. Don't kick out homeless people.
We don't kick out homeless people.
Most people have a choice.
No,
most people.
Don't.
Some. Wait, I work with tons of like homeless.
Listen,
some homeless people. They have to make a choice between eating, between paying for food and paying for bus fare. This is like their only mode of transport.
And these people that are homeless, they'll ride around the system for hours. We let them stay on. It's cold. It's wet.
Some do.
Some do. But listen, at the end of the day, when the bus is done, we got to get them off. right?
Yeah.
And the bus driver called in. They go, "This guy's been on my bus for 2.5 hours. He's passed out."
Well, unless they're
We need
bothering
to check
someone,
him. We gotta
just
check
leave him alone.
Like I said, the last thing I want to do, my friend, is harass homeless people. And all we're
But
doing
it happens
right
a
now,
lot with transit security.
It
And I'm not
doesn't.
saying you personally. At that time,
honestly, it doesn't. And then the thing is,
I think
though,
it does.
But okay, fair enough. That's your opinion. But here's the deal: you have to pay for the service, my man.
but they should be exempt.
But
There
then
should be an
you
exemption
pay
from.
for-
I mean, they exempt kids.
they-
Why would you exempt kids
Because
but not
that's just
exempt
life, but-
homeless people, seniors?
Fair enough, but they
Doesn't
don't.
make sense.
But they don't. Maybe one day, but they don't.
But
so right now, to get on
There
that
should be a
system,
compassionate exemption.
well, then write to your mayor and suggest that.
I'm going to suggest
Please
that.
do.
I've already suggested that to TransLink.
Please do, man.
And
Right?
most do. When I filed the complaint against that woman and I told her
Yeah.
what you guys did, she seemed shocked. She was like speechless for a little bit. She's like, I can't believe you said that.
But
Like
right
I told
here,
you
honestly-
made that comment, like why don't you take the homeless guy with you and give him a bath? I
take-
told
you know
her
what?
about that.
I take
That's
it all
on
the
video
time.
too.
That's fine. You know what? And guess what? My boss is.
How do you do that?
And it's not an issue because I say that all the time. Can I give you a situation?
Like-
We're on the ground. We pulled a guy off a bus. He's wasted, wrecked, right? Completely beside himself.
Yeah.
He's unable to care for himself.
Yeah.
I'm dealing with the guy. He's soiled himself. All of a sudden, someone like you comes walking over and says, "You're hurting him. You're hurting him." And I'm like, "Hey, do you know this guy?" No. I go, "Well, do you want to take him home? Give him some food. Give him some warm clothes. Let him have a shower."
But that's an insensitive
No, it's not.
retort. Most
No, it's
people that
not.
say that,
No,
it just
it's not because you know what they
completely
do? They come up and they realize that the guy soiled himself. They're like, "No way, man. I don't want to help that guy."
gotta go.
You got a call? You know what?
All right. Anyways, nice
Mr.
talking to
John-
you though.
You know what?
Have a good one.
Look after yourself, okay?
You as well.
All right, take care.